So today I platinumed possibly the worst video game that has ever been created. Released June 25th, 2013, this game has a very respectable average of 19 critic review and a 1.4 user review on Metacritic, with one reviewer commenting that this game is, and I'm not lying you, a startling glimpse into true hell.
A little rough, don't you think?
So it was a normal Wednesday morning, and then the next 10 days of my life were set in stone. And there it is. Friggin' right to hell Retribution. This is the one that doesn't have the DLC. But I was a crazy lunatic 6 years ago, and I bought this game brand new and got the DLC. So we'll be doing the DLC as well.
Dummy! Yeah!
And the platinum for this game just makes it even worse, just because I have to platinum the game twice, since you need to beat the game in order to unlock the hardest difficulty in this game. Also, you need to get all the collectibles in the game, which can only be done on the hardest difficulty, since one of the collectibles that you need, you obtain by beating the game on the hardest difficulty. So before going for this platinum, I had 11 out of the 37 trophies needed for this platinum. Here's a quick roadmap for what's needed to platinum this game. Step 1, beat the game to unlock the hardest difficulty. Step 2, beat the game on the hardest difficulty while getting every single collectible. And then step 3, the miscellaneous cleanup, boring stuff, to be honest. Now, just to give my personal take on this game, after reading the reviews and just remembering when this game came out. I was 15 when this game came out, and now I'm 26. Holy hell. Now that I have platinumed this game and beat the game twice, I can honestly say that this game is absolutely horrible and is probably in the top 3 worst games I have ever played. And I've played Dead Rising 4. Also, scratch Dead Rising 4, I've played this garbage thing. But the story in this game is throwaway, it's terrible. The combat in this game is some of the worst I've ever experienced in a game. The checkpoints in this game are so unfair in certain situations. And also, just look at this game design, bro. So this guy is about to send a truck down the hill after us, and the absolute cheek of this game to put a stop bar here. I don't even know what these things are called. I'm Welsh. We probably call it something different to what you call it. But just the nerve to put a stop sign here, which is something you should be doing if you've made it this far into the game. But like any rational person would just crawl underneath it. But of course, the game just doesn't let you crawl underneath it. So you just have to sidestep it. Again, this is a nitpick. Don't get me wrong. But I just found it funny. This game also had DLC released, and you have a better chance of finding me platinuming Wolfenstein 2 than actually finding a code for this game that actually works. According to some forums I've read, the only way to actually get this DLC is to buy the German version of this game and just hope that the DLC code works. And for some reason in 2017, I bought a brand new copy of this game that had the DLC with it. So I feel like I owe it to myself to actually 100% this damn game. Right as I load into this game, I get some very upsetting news that I've already told you about, but this is my live reaction to finding it out. I can't choose the... I have to play this game twice. Oh. So I start this game and instantly I contemplate my life. What has my life got to that I'm playing right to hell Retribution? What am I doing? I'm 26 years old and it's freaking 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. What am I doing with my life? I'm playing right to hell Retribution in 2024. So I suppose I should touch on this game's story a little bit. So you play as Jake, one of the most unlikable main protagonists I've ever seen in a game. He reminds me of Deacon from Days Gone, and Deacon is probably just as annoying, if you can believe it. But Jake is returning home from his service duties, and we meet up with his family. It is Mac and Mikey.
Damn, Mikey. Mac wasn't kidding. You've gotten to be one tall sack of shit.
But now that I actually get to control the character for the first time on the bike, I run into a particular issue that I have never experienced in just a game in general, and is probably an indication of how bad this game is going to be. Hello? So for whatever reason, the game just didn't want to recognize me pressing R2, even though it's very clearly recognizing that I'm moving an analog stick. It just doesn't want to recognize me pressing R2. Eventually, I did manage to get it to work by swapping the triggers in the option, but to say first impressions last a lifetime. But we eventually catch up with our brother, and I hope you're ready to experience some of the worst voice acting I have ever experienced in just media, not just in a game.
You ever slice an ear off with a baby cow? They scream and scream. It's funny.
You suck!
Bro, if you've played Resident Evil on the PS1 and you know how bad that voice acting is, at least that voice acting is funny. Like, it's cheesy.
Jill, don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say. Aren't you supposed to be going over the first floor, Barry?
Yeah, you're right. But just take a look at this.
This is just... But our brother Mikey ends up getting murdered, and you can tell just how much emotion is brought out of me. I've been playing this game for 18 minutes, and this is what I look like. But after he is murdered, we now have to go on a villainous rampage, killing everyone that was involved on that night to avenge our brother. We progress further into the game, and here is just some of the amazing combat that you can expect from this game. Also, somehow, I completely forgot that this game has these intimate scenes. Again, demonetization? I don't know if it's a thing.
Careful. Try not to get hurt, mister.
What? But moving on. As much as I despise this game, it can definitely give you a few laughs. We help this woman take out some of her mechanic friends, and then, of course, immediate fornication. God, these are really all over the game, aren't they? Now on to potentially our first trophy that we can obtain in this game, and it's a trophy that I've seen people actually struggle with. It is to get a A rank in all of these shooting ranges in one attempt. Can be very annoying just because I've never had a game where the aiming feels smooth but also so stiff that it's like Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy. No lie, the main tip I've seen from this game when it comes to shooting is to turn your sensitivity down to 0. But as I say, I have read stories that this trophy has taken people 3 hours, yet I somehow done it on my first try. I'm not going to complain, because who remembers the really bad delay on PS3 pop-up? There we go. God damn, that took so long to pop up. And then you have these chase scenes where you have to shoot the main boss of the area, and it's just awful. You mean to tell me I put this many shots into him with a fully automated light machine gun, and in the cutscene he's just chilling, and every single boss is like this? It feels like I'm shooting Homelander, for God's sake. Now, welcome to the hub area of this game. Here you can sell drugs that you pick up from enemies. You can buy guns, and that's it, to be honest. After every mission, you go and sell your narcotics you pick up in the game. You go refill your ammo or buy another gun or another manual, because you have to buy all of those in the game. And then you go straight back onto your bike for the next mission. Loading into the next mission, and it seems like the next eclipse is going to happen by the time these textures are going to load in.
What is that?
Now time to channel in our inner Rocky Balboa, and we need to fight multiple guys in the ring in order to meet our next target. And after we beat our next target and try and question him, somehow someone stabs him with a knife through a ring post. And I just want to point out, again, this is very nitpicky, look how small this knife is. And it somehow goes through a whole ring post, plus a human body, enough to where we can see pretty much the whole knife going through him. Next up, we get to run away from this tractor, and then we make our way through what I can only describe as a scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2. There's a lot of things that I can tell are taken from games around this time period, but they're just put into a game that just shouldn't have been made. And then we kill this guy who is sitting on a turret, and we pop ourselves another trophy. When we arrive back at our hub area, we sell more of these drugs and then pop a trophy for selling every single type of drug in this game. Next guy we need to take out is Greasy Steve. And again, we chase him for what seems like hours, pump millions of bullets into him, and then just the way we kill him is...
Good talk, Steve. Now let's see you slip out of this one.
On to the next mission. I'll be honest, I've completely forgotten what we're doing. Basically, we need to hold a reticle on this guy in order to get him to stop running, which, if you can't tell, is ripped straight out of L.A. Noire. En route to our next mission, we pop a S-grade wheelie, and that pops us a trophy. We'll be doing a lot of these, because we need to get 10 of them. Now on to our next main boss, where we have to kill, and if you couldn't tell by now, the amount of QTEs in this game is kind of insane. It makes Resident Evil 5 seem very light on QTEs, and that game, you have to do a QTE to punch a boulder. But just look at this QTE to kill this guy. You couldn't have just done this in a cutscene. All I'm doing is just holding his head in water. Why? Why is this a thing? Moving on to our next mission, and the gang that we are dealing with decide to roll up on our hub area, and we have an all-out brawl / shootout. We're supposed to be doing this shootout with Mac, who, yeah, as you can tell, I haven't spoken about him too much because he's barely in the game. But in typical fashion, we have to kill every single person, and then he just comes in like he did nothing.
Die, you fuckers! Die!
Bro just came out of nowhere and it did nothing.
Also, you ever accidentally just cook a grenade in your hand? Oops. Well, during our next mission, we need to collect 7 of what seems to be these stereo things. We kill a total of 500 enemies, and that pops ourselves another trophy. On to our next mission, we do our first S-grade jump and get another trophy. Again, same as the wheelies. We have to do 10 of these to get another trophy. On to our next boss fight. This guy with a chainsaw trying to be Dr. Salvador. He's very easy. You just keep roll dodging until the triangle prompt appears. And that's it. Pop a trophy. Now, while trying to avoid the police, we need to hop this helicopter using a ramp. Now, throughout the game, I didn't realize that this bike could actually boost. So I hope you enjoy one of the most gruesome deaths in this game, and also one of the most hilarious deaths in this game.
It's the start of the game.
What? On to our next mission, we pop the trophy for getting a kill with every single melee weapon in this game. And now we're on to the final mission, and the way we end up killing the final boss is kind of hilarious. So try and just wrap your brain around what we're looking at. We are currently standing on a bike, prodding at a guy's eyes, mountain style. While we're doing that, I can only wonder how fast we are going on this bike before eventually he flies off a cliff. Oh, this game's great. But after sending Caesar off the cliff, we pop 3 trophies, 1 for defeating him, and 2 for doing it on 2 difficulties. Now, this game is very strange for some reason, since it wouldn't actually let me play on the hardest difficulty until I beat the DLC. Now, I'll touch on the DLC towards the end of the video, so for now, let's just start on the hardest difficulty. As I said, this is the playthrough that you have to get every single of your collectibles in, since, again, to get all the artwork, one of the artwork is to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. I don't know why they decided to do this. I don't know why they decided to do a lot of things with this game, but I wish I was told that key information before I got halfway through my first playthrough, getting all the collectibles, and then realizing I have to collect them all again. Overall, however, for a hardest difficulty, this game is not hard in the slightest. You do have the odd tricky section, like the turret sections when you're on a bike, but apart from that, it's just not that bad. Because you've already done one playthrough and you realize the actual tricks to get around this game, and that is just shoot them in the head with your 0 sensitivity gun. You can pretty much just waltz through the game. We are, of course, picking up some trophies along the way, such as purchasing on the manuals, but we just progress through the game as normal, taking down each of the bosses again, and picking up most of the collectibles. But I definitely did miss 1 or 2 of these collectibles, but thankfully there is chapter select, so that's one thing this game got right. So picking up 50% of the bike parts, that unlocks us a trophy. And then again, onto the final mission, we unlock all of the bike paint. And then we beat the game again, and we unlock the trophy. Hopefully, there's 1%er. That's beating the game on the hardest difficulty. It's not a hard difficulty, so it's not that much to talk about. Now it's just time to do some miscellaneous cleanup. So we have to go through chapter select and get all the collectibles that we missed. The first one we actually get is saving all the girls, because that's a trophy in the game, if you can believe it. And the final collectibles, if you could call them that, is to get 10 of each of rage kills on a bike, your S-grade power slides, and your S-grade wheelies. Oh my god, it's done. But before we end the video, let's touch on the DLC. The DLC is as bad as the main game. A shocker, I know. It's just another mission. It does come with some extra trophies, of course. Some of these trophies are, of course, just story related. Some of them are for killing 50 enemies with a sniper and a grenade. And you have to do a particular part of the mission without dying. And also just do the odd miscellaneous trophy here or there. But again, it's nothing much to talk about. Like, this game is just, aside, there's only so much I can laugh at this game without wanting to cry. Now, this is a sight I didn't think I'd see, but it is definitely one that I'm proud to see. But I would like to say I am one of only 179 people on PSN Profiles to have 100%ed this game, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the last 50, you reach May 2016. So I think I'll be on that leaderboard for a while. Unless you guys go and platinum this game / 100% it. But good luck getting that DLC though, because you cannot buy it anywhere. Now, if you want to see me platinum a good game, click somewhere here.